kidding. Okay. Haha. Oh, it's me. Hello. Y'all, we live in such a weird world right now. I don't wish this because it would mean I would have yet another device that I would be freaking looking at, but I wish that I could hold a device and show you what I can see, which is just so many screens, just plain pictures of me, but a little bit at different time frames per second. Hi everybody. I'm gonna let you all kind of walk into the room, order your drink, loosen your tie, take off your pants. You can, you could technically do anything. I'm sort of going in Josh Nelson territory already, so I'll keep it clean right now. But hi, Uncle John. Thanks for coming and being here. It's a total honor to be a part of Sam First's solo sessions. I have to say that Sam First has become a place, especially in the last couple years, that I probably have played at the most. I was honored to have a residency there this fall in advance of my record coming out, and so I did 3 nights there with Larry Goldings and David Pilch and a different guest every night. And in a world where rarely do jazz musicians, or any musician for that matter, get to play in one venue multiple days in a row, it's so cool that I got to do that, and that they've been doing that with certain artists. So the fact that I can be a part of this is a huge honor, because I'm a massive fan of everyone that have done these so far. And yeah, tonight is going to be me with me, nobody else. Maybe my cat, if we're lucky, will come in the cat door, although he already was fed. And I've done a few live streams now, and so I kind of like to do them differently. I think that makes sense, because we're not like at a venue. You're watching me on a computer while I sit in my house. So I like to talk a little bit more and answer questions a little bit. Hello, Josh. And also talk and read. I've been really into reading poetry out loud since we all started to quarantine. And I'm going to give you all a warning that I am going to get real bright as the sun sets, because the sun just sets right there. So at some moment, it just might be a spotlight on me. So get ready for that. But I'm going to start with a song, and I'm going to start with a tuning. You're the grass around my ankles and makes them sing. For all I lose and all I find and all that's in between, I dive into your waters, I will not come up for air. I will eat the whole world, taste your music everywhere. I love you in the evening when the lights let shadows in, and I'll surrender everything and you'll give me back nothing. I'll dive into your waters, I will not come up for air. I will eat the whole world, taste its music everywhere. You are everywhere. can you give me in return for all the kindling in your heart that's still to burn? I wake up in the morning and I don't know where I've been. My dreams, they fade too quickly, like your smell upon my skin. I will dive into your waters, I will not come up for air. I will eat the whole world, taste its music everywhere. Where you are everywhere, see, there's first hint of sunshine. It's coming. Thank you all. I wanted to give us a second to, I feel the same about the stories. To all maybe gather the millions of us watching this at the moment, because I did want to do something today. I've had a pretty scattered day. And also this is the first show I've done in a bit, and I do find them a little bit rattling. Normally coming up onto a stage with someone I'm playing with, going through a sound system, kind of having the lights go down. There's a moment, you have a moment to kind of center. That doesn't quite exist here, and I decided I can do whatever the hell I want when I do this, so I would like to do that. But what I realized was more important than centering would be to say out loud and keep in my mind, and maybe our minds, the names of some of the people of color that have been murdered by law enforcement, not only recently, but some people as many years ago that are, because of the attention right now, getting their names are coming to light. And I discovered that today is Tamir Rice's birthday. 8 years ago he was killed. He was 12 years old when police went and saw him playing with a toy gun in a park. He was shot within seconds. And he would be grown now, which is crazy. I also wanted to say the name of Elijah McClain, who's a young man whose death is now coming to light in Aurora, Colorado, and Breonna Taylor, of course, Carlos Adrian Ingrid Lopez. I wanted to talk about him because I'm from Tucson, Arizona, and I believe it was just yesterday that his name was revealed as being killed in police custody. It happened all the way back in April, and they didn't have a name for him for many months. The police chief resigned because he didn't even review the footage of the shooting. Actually not shooting, smothering and death. So this might seem like I'm bringing it down, but I'm actually bringing up these names because I think hopefully all of us are learning names we should have known a long time ago. And I was watching Black Lives Matter rally to get police out of the Los Angeles school district. And at the beginning of that time, they asked everyone to kind of bring a name to themselves and hold it close for a period of time. And so I'm sharing those names with you if you'd like to choose one of those, but you all probably have many, many others to choose from, sadly. So I would like to just sit in silence for a couple minutes together. Close your eyes. You can put a hand on your heart. You can sit on the couch, and we'll just like be together for this moment with these lost souls. So I'm going to set the timer. Watch this. Google, please Google, set the timer for 2 minutes. It's not very tasteful, but that's how I can do it. Okay, Google, set the timer for 2 minutes.
2 minutes, and we're starting now.
I love you all. Thank you for doing this with me. Stop. Thank you, everybody. This isn't a lecture show. I think moments like that are important to incorporate into our days so that those of us that have finally woken up far too late to the systematic murder and oppression of people of color in this country can stay consistent with it for the rest of our lives. So I think those moments can help us do that. This song is for my dad. It was his birthday yesterday. Wait, what is today? Thursday? Tuesday was his birthday. And I wrote this for him on his birthday 1 year ago when he turned 80. And we were in Arizona. I'm from Tucson, Arizona. And we spent a lot of time when I was little walking the desert together. I'm definitely a daddy's girl. And right now my desert is on fire. The mountain I grew up next to. So this kind of goes out to my hometown and my dad. Father, I love you. Do you hear me? Hear me good. Father, I forgive you like I forgive me too. There's a sweetness in the water that we cup in our hands. Yeah, it's running deep inside us, carving out the past. You said you gotta slow down, girl, to see the pain and the beauty of living free. There's a lightness, I can see it in the blue of your eyes. It's the joy of the desert morning. It's the doves when they cry. And in the quiet, I'm with you. In the breath and in the blood. And in the body we share between us. And in the love of our love. You said you gotta slow down, girl, see the pain and the beauty of living free. You said you gotta slow down, girl, to see the pain and the beauty of living free. Father, I love you. Do you hear me? Hear me good. Father, I forgive you like I forgive me too. Hi everybody. Sue, this is gonna be great. You're just watching it happen. And I'll just be gone for a while. Maybe, I don't know, I'll move somewhere. But I don't really drink much lately, but I just felt, since I knew that Josh Nelson and Jesse Ottinger would be listening tonight, that I couldn't not have some form of cocktail. I had to make this myself because all I have is gin and nothing to put gin in. But this is water and gin, very good gin, and a little bit of lemon, a little bit of orange. Jesse, you can let me know if you approve, but it feels appropriate. Cheers, everyone. All right. Take me to the place where the memories started. Lay my burden down. Stand in line with a broken hearted. Lay my burden down. I lay. Oh, hold up. Sorry, 1 second. Different key. I've never gotten the key wrong without a capo. I feel very accomplished. My bar chords. Take me to the place where the memories started. Lay my burden down. Stand in line with a broken hearted. Lay my burden down. I 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 lay my burden down. Baby, it's your hands that I've been missing. Lay my burden down. I never asked to be forgiven. Lay my burden down. I 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 lay down. Moon in the sky and change opinions. Lay my burden down. I never asked to be forgiven. Lay my burden down. I 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 lay beside me, buried in the ground. I lay my burden down. I lay my burden down. Lay my burden down. I lay. So, I'm really getting it. It is a little toasty here. I've been into reading and talking a little bit, and I think it'd be cool to know if you guys have been into particular poets or any particular poetry or podcasts or anything over this. I almost called it the break, like we're on summer break. Well, not so much. Because it'd be cool to share with each other. Do I want to do this? Yes, I'm going to do this and then do another thing. So I've been reading some poems that I like. And Ross Gay is an author, a poet I really love. And this is a book I read earlier this year, The Book of Delights. And it's a book that you can just never finish, even if you read it all again, because he basically spent roughly a year every few days writing about one delight. So it has the flavor of a poet and also someone that lives with an incredible amount of perspective and gratitude. It totally makes you want to be his friend, you know, those kinds of authors. But I thought I would read a couple things from it. Maybe I'll read, this is something that I posted when I read it. I think it's just incredible. And it talks about one of my favorite singers, so it's like a 2-for-1. And this is called Donny Hathaway on Pandora. Okay. My friend Jericho said it best when he observed that when Donny sings his song For All We Know, which for other singers is an over-the-top, sort of desperate, extended pickup line, for all we know, we may never meet again, i.e., it's of the essence now. Now or never, gotta catch a flight, young man's gotta come home from work, etc. You know, let's get it on. He is singing about dying. And not about the little deaths or the extended pickup lines might hopefully lead to actual dying. Which is to say, our imminent disappearance is Donny's subject. His voice's subject. Which is the voice's first subject always, as fading and disappearance are sound's essential characteristic, as fading and disappearance are sound's essential characteristics. His is a voice that makes you realize that your voice is the song of your disappearing, which is our most common song, the knowledge of which, the understanding of which, the inhabiting of which might be the beginning of radical love, a renovating love even. January 11th. I can't recommend him enough if you're looking for great authors. And now, since maybe we have a quorum, oh, Anna! I haven't seen you in forever. Wonderful drummer. Man, so good to see you. Anna Barreto is watching. Hello. I guess eventually I will turn somehow. But for many of you on my email list, for many of you who follow me on the social media platforms, I talked about the cover for today. We all are dealing with the realities of COVID at very different levels. So I'm very aware that many of us are very seriously affected economically. And I'm also aware that a lot of us are spending way less money than we used to before. And I've noticed that about myself, even with less of an income. So I really wanted to challenge those of you that can today consider what cover you would pay to go to Sam First today, or to whatever venue in your town you like to go to. Maybe it's like a $10 cover, maybe it's a $20 cover and a 2-drink minimum, who knows. And consider donating that cover to either me at my Venmo account, because I will immediately deliver it, and my Venmo is literally my name, Kathleen Grace. You will find me. And I encourage you to do this, the sun, to go to bailproject.org. Dave is going to paste the link in the chat, but I liked writing this out. It's fun. And then I get to hold a sign that can't be read because of the sun. And what I'm kind of playing with is that there's also a tip jar today. And the tip jar today, I'm not splitting it. I don't want half of it, which is normally how it works. I just want, the tip jar goes usually to the artists and then to the staff at the club, the people who literally you would be tipping. The doorman who I adore, God, I love him. The bartenders that make the incredible drinks, they are getting the proceeds from your tips. So you can also think about the fancy drinks that you probably would order, because Sam First has amazing cocktails. And you don't have to tip yourself because you made your own. So just to kind of keep this artist and this certain forms of service economy that are really non-existent right now, and also to serve supporting an organization that I think is really important, which is basically a system of revolving bail, and it makes it able for many, many thousands and thousands of people to post bail. And I want to just share a little bit about them and encourage you. The other reason I wanted to look this up is you can go to their website, and they have an incredible movie there that really explains firsthand of what the bail system can do to a person and a family and a neighborhood. But I just want to share kind of their mission, which is that it's a non-profit, and when you donate to them, it goes directly into their bail system. It's given to someone to pay bail, and the bail comes back to them, and they can give it to somebody else. So it started in New York, and it's expanded nationwide. The Bail Project is a nonprofit organization designed to combat mass incarceration by disrupting the money bail system. So we believe that paying bail for someone in need is an act of resistance against a system that criminalizes race and poverty, and an act of solidarity with local communities and movements for de-incarceration. Over the next 5 years, the Bail Project will open dozens of sites in high-need jurisdictions with the goal of paying bail for tens of thousands of low-income Americans, all while collecting stories and data that prove money bail is not necessary to ensure people's return to court, which is why it was originally created. We won't stop until meaningful change is achieved, and the presumption of innocence is no longer for sale. So there's a great TED Talk that I actually gave Dave a link to that really explains, in detail how sort of the concept of bail became twisted, and how it affects communities, poor communities and communities of color so much more, and essentially pre-incarcerates them. And I think it's a great, clear way to kind of affect the system with your money. Okay, not lecturing, but sharing. So I'm going to go back and see, did anyone share any poets that they love? Let's see. Kenton! Oh, hi! I'm so honored that you're here. Kenton Chen is such a magnificent human being, and an incredible singer, and an incredible songwriter. He's someone that basically is my teacher now. He studied with me a little bit at USC, but he's definitely the teacher now, and you should totally follow him, and he's huge all over the world, so yeah. But I'm gonna kind of do one more song on acoustic and then bring out my new friend. So we'll do this and then maybe adjust where I'm sitting so I don't become a ghost. But while I'm doing this, I want to see some poets, because I sound like I'm really deep into poetry, but I've got like 5 that I just rotate. So I'm going to tune first. Mary Oliver, love her, of course. John Hall, another great poet I love. Yes.
wanna sing you to sleep. Wanna sing you to sleep. Whisper soft, you'll sleep deep. I wanna sing you to sleep. I wanna sing you to sleep. Wanna sing you to sleep. Warm my feet against your feet, yeah, baby. I wanna sing you to sleep. They say that things get harder when you're close to what is true. Things are never easy when I'm getting close to you. And I want to, I want you. I wanna sing you to sleep. I wanna sing you to sleep. And that's right underneath those sheets, yeah. I wanna sing you to sleep. I'll sing you all those 80s songs that you seem to know so well. Never say I love you, no, I promise not to tell. I'll never tell, I'll never tell. I wanna sing you to sleep, yeah. I wanna sing you to sleep. Warm my feet against your feet, baby. I wanna sing you to sleep. If you could see you like I see you in the clear light of the day, see you with my own eyes, I know that you will stay. But I'll give you away, I'll give you away. I wanna sing you to sleep. I wanna sing you to sleep. And that's right underneath those sheets. I wanna sing you to sleep. Yeah. Yeah. The spotlight it's arrived. It's arrived. I'm gonna move it. Give me a second, y'all. I think what I just need to do is try this. No? Maybe it's this way. This way. Sorry. There we go. Whew! Mother. Okay, so do you have some poets here? Oh, you're going through Rupikar right now. What, do you have a particular, this is Kenton talking about a poet, I believe, or a writer. Let me know if you have a particular collection, Kenton, like you'd recommend buying or checking out by her. Here we go, y'all. We need it. This is my new little friend. She doesn't have a name yet. Maybe we can come up with some names for this guitar life partner that I found. The truth is, I got it a year ago, but I wasn't ready for her, you know? And I hope Molly Miller is not watching because it would freak me out. Because she's a guitar god. Plays with Kenton a lot. So this is the first time I'm playing her, and I'm nervous about it.
it went great yesterday, but now my hands are like, meh. But you know, you gotta start somewhere, right? And I'm definitely feeling ready for it. I'm liking the sound. I know it does look like I live in the woods. I basically practically do. I live on a stair street in Mount Washington, and it's pretty wonderful. Thank you for your patience, y'all. I think now that I own 2 guitars, I can start talking gear, which is this is a vintage early 60s Dan electric guitar. That's all I can say about it. It's all I got. That's as far as my guitar gear broness has gotten so far. You know, still exciting.
Nice to meet you too. I could have fallen in love with you, like I always do, like I never do. And I was not prepared for you, but I prepared for you. What is my world coming to? I am coming for you too. I am like a radio. Oh, how you play me, oh, turn me up loud. I am like a radio. Oh, how you play me, oh, turn me loud. Prettier than I thought you'd be. You stranger in me. And I stolen aboard a ship at sea to take me far away from me. I am like a radio. Oh, how you play me, oh, turn me up loud. I am like a radio. Oh, how you play me, oh, turn me up loud. And the stillness of us together, I can't seem to be anywhere else. Deep inside of myself, and the flowers in spring drip through the opening of my darkest part. I am like a radio. Oh, how you play me, oh, turn me out loud. I am like a radio. Oh, how you play me, oh, you turn me
I really keep my doors open when I hang out in my house. This is a COVID song. Maybe a little too much reverb, Kathleen. Let's try it out. Here we go.
I could fall into someone like you. I want you to want me first. Touch my leg with your hand and I'll take it back. In a crowded theater in the dark, move it back and forth to show me how safe you are. And press your lips just right. Promise me the world and that you'll never leave me. And then I will decide if my heart will settle for your light. 'Cause I could fall into someone like you. Sit amazed that a stranger could be open to a body so broken. And you bow at the top of the stairs with your jet black hair. I'll meet you there, 'cause I could fall into someone like you. Singing to be strong. She says we've only got a moment, and Patty knows all that I could fall into someone like you. I could fall into someone like you.
It's a new one. It's brand new. First song for this puppy. So let me know what you think, and let me know if you have any current ideas. Maybe you need like a closer look. She's pretty freaking sexy. She's chocolate brown, in case that is unclear on the internet. Thank you, Kenton. Josh, you are photographed. I don't know what that thread is about, but I like it. So I have I've got a new record out. It was released during quarantine, which ultimately, and it came out in April, but it, since we basically are living in a year of this, I feel like the year started in March, and this is its own year of pandemic. But it still feels quite new to me, and I've been really moved by all the people kind of reaching out to me and talking to me about this record. It took so long to put out, it was tied to a very specific, plot line in my life, but now that it's finally out, like all of music, everything has just so many more meanings, But I would say that it is about like the pain of letting go and the beauty of slowing down and listening to yourself and the complexity of that. And I was lucky enough to get to make this record with, freaking comedy legend Larry Goldings. So this is a song we wrote together. It's the title track. Yeah.
Tie me to you with a string, flying, floating, lie beside me, hold me still. Diamonds dancing, pockets filled. Summer wishes evergreen. Leaves unfolding, we are woven, we are bound. You are lightning, I am ground. Tie me to you with a string, close forever,
Thank you, Larry, for writing such a beautiful song to write a lyric to. Larry Goldings, ladies and gentlemen. You can check out that record on Spotify, wherever you stream music. Thank you for many of you that have just shared about it. It's been cool to have it on a few playlists on Apple Music and things like that. And hopefully it will come out in Japan. Hopefully, that's in the works. You can buy it. You can buy handkerchiefs on my website if you want to cover up. It's quite sexy, and there's not many left. And I think I should read another poem. Actually, I'm going to read a couple things. So I wanted to, I'm going to read another Ross Gay poem, and then I'm going to read a little like James Baldwin. So this I wanted to read a couple to give you a sense more of this book, because it's great. I love to read just like one little thing before I'm going to bed, and I don't even do it in order. I just like flip around. This is called Found Things by Ross Gay. Oh, I wish you could hear that bird. I'm going to open the door for this. Even though Dave Robert told me not to. Among the qualities of delight I found, I'm finding in my dalliance with it, t-shirt idea, dalliance with delight, close parentheses, is the feeling of discovery. The sense that one has found something, been shown something, perhaps materially, perhaps spiritually or physically, that was previously unknown. Perhaps delight is like a great cosmic finger pointing at something. That's not it. Perhaps delight is like the great cosmic finger has pointed at something, and that something, parentheses, which in all likelihood was already there, which is why I've enlisted a cosmic finger rather than a human one, close parentheses, appears. Aha, or whoa, or yeah. For instance, when a couple days back I saw a husky middle-aged man pulling his roller bag down the block with his wheels that sparkled, which are in the same aesthetic ballpark as the children's sneakers that do the same, I thought. Whoa, yes. Much the way I do when I see the kids with the firefly feet, or when I learn from a Thomas Lux poem, ooh, poet alert, Thomas Lux poem, that pigs cannot look up. Aha. Or when I see birds swooping through the Detroit airport, which I happen to fly through sort of regularly because I don't see them every time and forget that I see them. Not always lose my shit with glee. My fingers, also a kind of bird flying from side to side to point at the little tuft that just skidded onto the trash can. Whoa, yes. I also noticed myself looking around, searching among the commuters for a fellow compatriot of glee. I wonder if this impulse to share, the urge to elbow your neighbor, who maybe was not even your neighbor until the bird flew between you and up into the pipes and rafters and you did not notice until you followed the bird there, is also among the qualities of delight. And further, I wonder if this impulse suggests, and this is the hypothesis, though I suspect there is enough evidence to make it a theorem, that our delight grows as we share it. April 17th. I think that's when my record came out. I'm not sure. I think that is, though, maybe. That's interesting. That's delightful. How are we doing? Don't forget, Venmo me, Kathleen Grace. Please visit Veil Project. It's fascinating to learn about. I just love learning shit. Even shit I should have learned a really long time ago. It's still fucking cool. I wanted to read just a brief little thing from the Paris Review. I think this is from the 60s. Because this record that I just put out has a lot of, or had, there's this image of the artist processing their life and their pain and their love and their art, and it's true. All of the artists watching now will tell you it's true. But yes, Free Cloud does have my back. I love Free Cloud. Also is a great name online, Free Cloud. But this kind of romanticism of like, well, it's worth it, right? Because you've expressed in some way kind of the fetishization of art itself. Anyways, so this interviewer is talking to James Baldwin. It's a great interview that you can just look up, Paris Review, James Baldwin. But just one question, it's quite short. Has writing been a type of salvation, the interviewer asks Baldwin. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure I've escaped anything. One still lives with it in many ways. It's happening all around us every day. It's not happening to me, firework. It's not happening to me in the same way, because I'm James Baldwin. I'm not riding the subways, I'm not looking for a place to live, but it's still happening. So salvation is a difficult word to use in such a context. I've been compelled in some ways by describing my circumstances to learn to live with them. It's not the same thing as accepting them. And I think when we're thinking about, in particular, African American art and expression, that's important to keep in mind. And it also just resonated with me in other ways. And I love his writing. So let's get this girl out. Any ideas of a name? I feel that no one's given any name. Let's see. Oh, singing television. Sarah Leave is here incognito. Let's see. I don't think anyone named it. I want to mention that also in my house there are these really fancy DPA mics, and DPA mics outfits Sam First with mics, which is way cool. And there's literally like, these mics are like nothing, and they're just hanging there and just catching such natural sound. And the record I just made was, a lot of it was recorded without headphones, and I'm really into like how we sing and definitely different when it's not amplified. And I think my house has pretty good sound. So I'm grateful for their microphones today. And make sure you tip your waiters. Okay. Oh, tell us a little more. Oh yeah, I didn't ask for questions. I'm still new at the thing. Tell us about your history. What kind of music did you learn from your mom? Why is it my mom? Your bio says you have jazz roots, but your own writing seems more Americana. Very true. So I am basically playing exclusively folk music, except for, I'm going to get to the piano in just a second. And I will say that actually, I'm going to have a little speech and chat now, so watch out if y'all want to get another drink. Let's get a drink before this. This is for Sarah Leave. So, I grew up loving music. I don't come from a musical family. It just was really innate in me. I love dancing. I love performing. I didn't really have money for lessons for things, but I did anything I could that was accessible to me through school. Musicals, a lot of times you end up with musicals and choir and band. So I did all those things. I was a band kid in high school. I starred in the musicals, which I think I pretty much peaked for my parents as far as they're concerned when I was a drum major and the lead in a musical. I think I could get a Grammy and it wouldn't be the same. They would agree. But a cold brew, yes! Kenton. Oh my god. Sorry, he wants to name a guitar Cold Brew. Like, that's pretty good. And I remember actually thinking the last musical I was in high school was like my farewell performance of my life with music. And I just was going to go to college and be a lawyer and study things. And I did love lots of things, but eventually, right after school, I did AmeriCorps. I ended up in the Bay Area, and I did study at NEC, kind of on the side, some classical voice. And I still kind of kept dappling with musicals at my college. But when I moved to the Bay Area, I wanted to get back into singing, and I kind of randomly asked if someone knew someone who could teach me jazz too, because I thought I knew something about it, and I actually really had never listened to it before. But turns out I lived a few blocks from a woman named Molly Holm who changed my life. She was a founding member and associate director of Bobby McFerrin's Voicestra back when that started. And she, to this day, is my biggest spiritual mentor, my biggest musical mentor, one of the most incredible hearts of a human I've ever known. She's not famous. She's not famous as a teacher, but she's famous in my spirit. And she taught me in trade. She did a class that I could afford because it wasn't expensive. And eventually, instead of going to law school, I quit everything that I was doing. I had a really supportive partner of that as well, which made it easier, and I went back to school for music. So, jazz is my come to Jesus music, but I'll be honest that as a jazz singer in this space, and I still feel this to be true now, it's incredibly conservative and constricting artistically, which was a big surprise to me once I was actually a professional artist. Because at the time, it was really about sounding like someone who'd come before, especially if you were a singer, almost like a parody, or just like like how much can you sound like Ella, or how much can you sound like X, Y, or Z. Writing wasn't really a thing that was expected or encouraged. And culturally, I found it extremely male-dominated, and singers weren't as valued. And I found myself constantly needing to prove myself, which I'm an extremely hard worker, and I did that. But ultimately, I was drawn because of Nancy Wilson, who recommended a Leonard Cohen song to me to learn to sing. And I was like, who's Leonard Cohen? Does he write standards? And my journey with Leonard led me to everyone else, Bob Dylan, Joni Mitchell, Dolly Parton, and joining that community of songwriters and joining that community outside of the jazz space made me feel so alive. They were writing such exciting music, and it was so supportive and diverse and such a high level. I really needed genuinely to leave jazz, to come back to it on my own terms, and really not give a fuck about what anyone thought about what I was doing. And I think that's true for a lot of people in a lot of different contexts. I think vocal jazz has to some degree changed, and we have a lot of artists like Kenton who do many genres and are really just speaking their truth through whatever vehicle of style is appropriate for the moment, which is something I now really fully believe in. I still feel that jazz is unfortunately far too conservative for its own good, and but I will say what I've learned from, what I like to say is I have a value system that is completely rooted in jazz, which is essentially about listening, surrender, and freedom in the moment, which I do think are just at the heart of that art form. And when you consider where it came from, which is that it is a Black American art form, and that the Black history in this country is rooted in oppression and resilience, why wouldn't it be our come to Jesus music, And I think that hopefully, I think it's starting to be a freer space for, I think because of how we listen to music now, people are open to a lot of different ways and styles and genres, and a lot of my students now are kind of on the same path, which is exciting. But I think what I would share, since I'm really lecturing right now, is that I do think these jazz programs across the country are incredibly white, and that I've been a part of that system for a long time, of sort of really focusing on teaching skills, but not teaching context, and not really focusing on how to have a truly representative student body. And I think all of the programs, it's exciting, all over the country are finally, including myself and as an organization, waking up to the need to put those things in perspective and change. I think what's essential to that is making sure that those programs listen to their students of color, and I hope that my organization that I'm affiliated with, USC, does that as a department and a jazz department, because it's easy to jump to solutions, and music is about listening. That's what I teach again and again to my students, like listen, it's where all the joy and passion is. And so if we do not listen to these students, we can't expect any of our changes to have any true impact. So I had to get it off my chest, y'all, because it was a day. Thank you for letting me share. Now I really will play some more music. Kenton's currently in the lead with the name of this guitar. Cold brew.
I am all laid up in a cheap motel, and there's no one left to forgive me now, so get on with it. Get on with it. Back in 84 when I kissed your mouth, oh, I tasted love and I spit it out. Get on with it. Get on with it. Fire in the sky, burning down below. I will wrap myself in this ruddy glow. Get on with it. Get on with it.
I wrote that after reading a Cormac McCarthy novel record. A Cormac McCarthy record would sound pretty damn good, I think. I'm going to play a couple more songs on my piano. Let's see if we have any other one. Thank you, Kenton, because I need it. So let's see. I think Kenton's still winning the cold brew game. Cold brew kind of killed it. I think there's probably other names, but I'm conflicted because I actually don't like cold brew. It's a little too much caffeine for me. I'm more of a cappuccino girl, but it's a great name for a guitar. We're gonna leave cold brew where she is, and make sure to tip your waiters very well for tonight. And I'm going to end with a song from the record. And this involves me moving this in slightly precarious nature. So hold up, y'all. This is insane. I feel like there should be music, like, I don't know. Some sort of like 60s music. Woo! Yep, taking good care of the piano. You know, someone gave me this piano. Incredible. Many years ago. Okay. This is a less exciting view, I realize. We're gonna go like this. Sorry, 1 second. I think I need to move this. Da, 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 da. Okay. Here we are. So the reason I ended up making a record with Larry was that he owed me a favor, because he learned about me through Josh Nelson, because we've been doing some writing together that he heard and liked, and he wanted someone to do a demo for Sia of a song he was working on, and so I said yes immediately, and then after I did it, he owed me a favor. And so a year or two later, I asked him to come into Sheldon Gomberg's studio and sing What'll I Do With Me while someone filmed us. Without headphones, definitely had mics. And it was such an incredible experience that miraculously he wanted to do more with me, and I knew that I wanted to do more with him, and so we went into the studio a couple days later that spring in May with David Pilch, and we made a record. So this is the first time we played together.
What'll I do when you are far away and I am blue? What'll I do when I'm alone with only dreams of you? Are you that won't come true? What'll I do? What'll I do? Just a photograph to tell my secrets to. When I'm alone with only dreams of you. I'm gonna do that again. When I'm alone with only dreams of you, that won't
There you go. A few clunkers in there, but I'm trying to do this memorized, so we're getting there. I'm away from my little, hold on. I can't see what you're saying. Larry is awesome. Larry is super great. And I've got one more song. Just thinking. We need music more than ever. This is what it was. We need our clubs to survive. It's going to be a while. Like maybe a year before people really go in them again. And I mean the small clubs, not like giant corporate superdomes, but the bootleg theaters, the Sam First, the Blue Whales. And there's an organization that maybe Kenton or someone or Josh, I follow it on Instagram, that's basically lobbying Congress for relief for small music venues to make it through this crisis. Because unlike even a hair salon, that can reopen and close and reopen, these venues can't really, at this point. I mean, they can sort of, but not really. So we want to have somewhere to play, and obviously I want to have somewhere to go listen to music. So anything you can do to support that organization's work in the midst of all the things we're asking you to do, but it is a pandemic, so come on. And, I encourage you to do that. I hope you'll stay in touch, and it means a lot that you all were just here with me today and sharing my energy and my music. Thank you to all my musician friends out there tonight. I love you a lot. And thank you all who've bought the record and talked about it. I'm going to sing a song I never thought I would sing, and honestly, it's because it's one of the lyrics that I'm the most proud of that I've ever written. And in some ways I wish it could have made the record, but it really wasn't appropriate or right. But I really am going to sing it. And so we're going to do that now. Thank you all for being here. I'm sure Dave is going to share who is up next for next week, because I know John Patitucci was a couple weeks ago, and Kate McGarry was last week with her partner. But to let you know who's up for next Thursday night at Sam First. Let's all hang in there, okay? Here we go. I have to read this one, so I'm not going to look at you at all. And I don't like my profile, so... I like the song more than that, so it doesn't matter.
She lies beside the mountain on the pillow of the sea. Her breath, her rise and fall of the breeze. She slumbers on the waves and shakes and moves the trees in an endless harmony. How sweet the old reunion of the childhood and the man, a circle that returns ever bends. The teaching of a father, finding of a friend, a beginning and an end. Love, be still. Take what is given, your truth, it is within. It lives in you, pushes through There's beauty in life's sadness too. In the waking of the sun, surrender all your burdens down. In her arms you'll be truly free.
Thank you. I hope we all feel a little more free tonight. And I really appreciate your love and friendship, and stay in touch. Thank you, Dave, for having me. And again, Sam first. Lots of love.